Paper was like gold in medieval times.
Oh, not tobacco. Sugar.
That everything we thought we knew about the world might turn out to be completely wrong.
Lo fai a tutti così il caffè, perché fa veramente schifo.
Ma guarda qui! Sembra una medicina!
Non litighiamo di prima mattina,
Alzate con questo caffè torni subito a letto.
Capito? È proprio buono.
Il caffè sembra quello americano.
Oh ragazzi!
Posso avere un caffè? Non puoi usare quei sporchi che fai a Paolo sempre ogni mattina.
This is my favorite place in Florence to hang, and that's not because the food and the espresso is so good. It's because I'm Neapolitan, these guys are Neapolitan, and this is where I come to get my early morning dose of chaos.
Oh ragazzi, sono 10 minuti che aspetta per questo caffè. Oh.
Fai il caffè, dai lo zucchero.
Bravo Paolo, di.
Ma dai lo zucchero che
E questo fai i funghi da 6 di mattina.
Se ti pigiamo un po' in più, dai, che porta
È buono ragazzi, ciao, buongiorno.
Adesso se ti dice è buono il caffè.
Infatti non hanno nemmeno pagato.
My friend Eddy is visiting from the Naples area. Eddy's a fabulous singer. He was born in Scala near the Amalfi Coast, and he comes from a family of restaurateurs, so he definitely knows a thing or two around the kitchen. Together, we always have a crazy time. Crazy in a good way. Growing up as the only Italian kids on the street definitely had its advantages. As my non-Italian friends would rush home and have milk and cookies, the Rocco kids would come home and have pizza fritta made by their nonna. It wasn't too uncommon to have several of our friends over for this yummy snack. Pizza fritta, or fried pizza, is to die for, and it's as simple as it sounds, fried pizza dough. Sometimes I don't have time to make my own dough, so I just go to the supermarket and pick up the ready-made dough. It works just as well. I'll be making two versions, a savory and a sweet. A little bit of honey, crushed tomatoes, some garlic, simple. It's important to get your oil nice and hot to fry up the dough, so we'll get your dough nice and crispy. We'll avoid absorbing too much of the oil. And while that's heating up, I'm gonna make my quick sauce. A can of crushed tomatoes, just pour it in, a little bit of salt. Put raw garlic, we're not frying it up like we usually do for a sauce. Nice big chunks, so then you can easily remove them. And the garlic's just gonna explode and give off wonderful flavor. And then a nice dash of olive oil, then we're gonna heat it up. And cut up the dough in little strips and start working it with your hands. My little niece Simona loves this pizza fritta. Zio, let's make some pizza fritta. She gets her little hands in there and makes the little shapes. Make them any size. We'll drop it in. While that's cooking, I'm gonna make another one. great thing about this sauce, it takes no time at all to cook, and it always has that fresh, tomatoey taste. Lastly for the sauce, a little bit of basil. Due foglie, just a couple of leaves, rip them up with your hands. You know your fried pizza dough is ready when it starts getting fluffy and airy and starts puffing up before your eyes. Just a little bit of freshly grated pecorino cheese and we're done. Hear it sizzle? Now you can put freshly grated mozzarella, but I like pecorino, which is sheep's milk cheese. And now, the sweet version. A little bit of honey. This smells awesome.
Ore per arrivare qua. Firenze è un casino. Peggio di Napoli. Ma guarda quanto tempo. Rocco! Mannaggia mozzarella!
Grande Eddy, come sei bello!
Davide! Rocco!
Vieni!
Something is leaking here. Oh mamma mia! Mamma mia! It's leaking all the time here! Mannaggia!
There's a saying here in Italy, bussa con le piedi, which means knock with your feet because your hands should be full of gifts.
Mamma mia!
Bellezza!
What do you... This is a surprise from Napoli. A big surprise for Little.
So feel right. So feel right.
No, my form! Go in now!
Eddy. Oh,
This is the big secret.
now I'm gonna show you what's in it. You wet up my floor.
One for you. And one for me.
Mi hai fregato, eh? These are mozzarella di bufala, mozzarella from 100% water buffalo milk. They come from the Campania region, and Italy is the only country that makes mozzarella di bufala using 100% water buffalo milk.
That's right.
And all other mozzarella that's not made from the water buffalo milk are versions of mozzarella, vero? And Queen Margherita, lovely. She used to bathe in water buffalo milk.
È vero?
Smart woman.
Sì.
And the pizza margherita was named after her with basilico,
Pomodoro.
right, tomato sauce, and mozzarella.
mozzarella.
Have a bite.
Salute.
Che buono. È una bomba.
Mamma mia.
Come sono buoni. Dammi un altro, dai. Posso?
Tassisti guidavo troppo tranquilli, ci ha messo 2 ore. Ho detto ecco a Napoli sì che si guida, a Napoli sì che si guida per bene. Destra, sinistra, rosso, verde, si passa dappertutto. Ma valeva la pena, vai, valeva la pena perché. Dai, 300 euro mi hai fatto spendere, hai capito? Il trattato umano a Florence. La stazione è che su 10 minuti ero 2 ore. Mi ha fatto in un malissimo.
I fiorentini.
Firenze è tutto organizzato, ma a Napoli non si capisce niente, ma molto meglio là. Città qua. E meno male però. Ma stiamo a Firenze, la città più bella del mondo. E va bene, però il taxi, tanto un taxi. È che stiamo impazzendo, che a me mi è pigliato con lo struzzo.
Ti capisco.
È così.
Open it.
Ma sei bella, che meraviglia.
Il profumo del mare di Amalfi.
The sweet smell of the Amalfi Sea. Chi è pescato?
Antonio.
Ugliattone.
This was alive last night.
Sì.
What are you going to do with it?
Polpo in umido.
See?
Just like the professor would make.
Yes.
No?
Yes.
And the
Vabbè.
professor, how is he doing?
He's eating like a horse, but still skinny, in a good shape.
See,
Yeah.
it's all that great food in Ravello.
You make him proud.
I will make him proud.
I call freshen up.
Ciao, Ciccio.
Ciao.
Polpo in umido, or stewed octopus, is my favorite way of preparing octopus. It's so simple, and it always comes out nice and moist and succulent and tender. A lot of people get all freaked out by this kind of sea creature, but very simple to prepare and to clean. Just get a paring knife and go right into the heart of the octopus, scoop out the beak. It's just this black little crusty thing that has to be removed. And then just rinse it under cold water. Rinse your octopus really well. Get your fingers right into the sack and take away some of the grit and all the sand. And now for the rest of the ingredients. Some chili pepper, peperoncino, some acciughe, which is anchovy, capers, i capperi, and aglio, garlic. I love these one-pot meals where everything goes in, cleanup's a snap, and what would be a Neapolitan fish dish without garlic. Some peperoncino. I like to give a little bit of kick to this recipe with a few chili peppers and anchovies. Just grab the anchovies right out of the jar. You don't have to give it a cut. They will dissolve, go right into the sauce. Same thing with capers. You have to be very careful though. Between the anchovies and the capers, this can be very salty. So I caution you, attento con il sale. Now for the octopus, cut up the octopus in cubetti, small cubes. Octopus always reminds me of the Amalfi Coast. Now a lot of people don't know what to do with the sack of the octopus. Just cut into nice thin strips, because once this is stewed for about an hour, it becomes nice and tender, and the strips of the sack work fine. The anchovy is dissolving now. And lastly, some cherry tomatoes. What's fabulous about this is that you don't have to add any wine or vegetable stock. There goes my cherry tomato. The octopus releases a lot of water, and that gives off the wonderful fish flavor of this recipe. And now just un tocco di sale, very little salt, some fresh parsley, a rough chop of some Italian parsley. It's a nice final touch. And let it simmer on low to medium heat for 1 hour.
Everywhere I go, I miss my mama so. Hey, she can make a cannelloni, tortellini ravioloni, spaghetti matriciana, polpo in umido. Cotolette milanese, oh, tagliatelle bolognese, oh, gnocchi alla romana e tiramisù. Viva la pasta, sì sì, viva la pasta, sì sì, viva la pasta, sì sì, viva la pasta, sì sì sì. Viva la pasta, sì sì, viva la pasta, sì sì, viva la pasta, sì sì. E David Rocco, sì sì sì. Vieni David, vieni.
Faglielo come stamani. Faglielo come stamani.
You guys are still talking to someone.
Faglielo come stamani.
Aspetta ragazzi, Eddy ti spiega il caffè.
Io sono napoletano.
Vai Eddy,
Meno
vai.
male.
Per fare un buon espresso.
Ho ragione io, fa schifo il caffè.
Questa ci vuole dai 20 ai 30 30 secondi.
Tutti i giorni fai caffè schifosi.
Cucchiaino di zucchero deve stare a galla per almeno 5, 6, 7 secondi.
Fa schifo.
Arra subito giù e acqua. Quindi è solo
Ecco, lui fa la prova.
So good
No,
Neapolitan
ma è come lo
espresso
dico io che è
has to
così.
drip down 20 to 30 seconds. Less than 20 it becomes water. More than 30 it becomes burnt. And also you should always have with a glass of water before or after, and the sugar should remain on top, all on the schiuma, and should just slowly drip into the coffee. That's the real Neapolitan coffee, according to Eddy.
Ogni 30 secondi.
Esatto.
È pesante, questo è a pastore.
Ragazzi, oh, a dopo, ciao, ciao.
Non lo paga nessuno il caffè, lo vedi?
This is how my father makes his mussels. And I really think he invented this because every time I ask him about this recipe, he would say, yeah, it's a modo mio, it's alla my way. The smell of the sea always brings me back to my childhood. Summer holidays in Italy. And in the Rocco house, a lot of dishes were kind of alla my way. Give a good rinse to your mussels. I'm not too fussy because I believe you want the taste of the sea. Couple of tips though. If you find some shells that are open, you can try pressing it down. If they clamp shut, you know they're still alive. If they don't, it's dead, it's gone. Chuck it. Look for any beards and just give it a good tug and rip it off. If you find some of these shells are really gritty, grab a steel wool brush, give it a little scrub. There are many versions of steamed mussels with tomato sauce, diced tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, even a vino bianco with just white wine. But all the versions start off the same way. You heat your pan and you put some extra virgin olive oil, a couple of cloves of garlic, a must in our family, pepperoncino, to give it a little spice. The joke in our family is that we love chili pepper so much we'll even put it on our cereal. Let the garlic get nice and golden brown. Cook and flavor the olive oil. And now just throw in your mussels. And put the lid over as you're steaming the mussels. Give it a little shake. I always like to cook with white wine. And sometimes I'll even put in the food. You don't have to worry about how much wine to put in because the wine is going to eventually just evaporate, the alcohol will evaporate, and will leave you with a nice sweet broth. While the mussels are steaming, I'm just going to chop up some flat leaf Italian parsley. Now my dad calls this alla my way because he adds a little bit of red wine vinegar, about a half a cup. A little bit of salt. And you know you're done when all the shells have opened. And if there are a couple of shells that haven't opened, just remove them. They're not good.
Rocco, I have this beat in my mind.
These are fabulous.
Pa, 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 zazzara, pa, 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 pa. Zazzara, pa, 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 zazzara, pa, 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 pa. You like it?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Where are you dressed up?
It's a surprise.
Surprise.
Surprise for you.
Surprise for me
Yeah.
that you're dressed up.
Yes.
Who's coming for dinner? Monica Bellucci.
Sofia Loren and Monica Bellucci. I am the surprise.
Sì, sì,
Go and change yourself.
Okay.
Za, 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 za,
Ba ba ba.
za, 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 za.
Ba ba ba.
questa fatica. Come va?
This was the surprise. Eddie, don't ask Sophia Lauren, but you know what he'll do. Guys, let's all sit down because Eddie's been cooking so much. He's been cooking very hard.
I'm starving.
I'll go get the food.
Di Napoli, mozzarella di battipaglia.
E Eddie, questo è
Non sei come la mia ricetta. Ah, vino con
Pigliate
la mia
quello
ricetta.
stronzo da 2 ore. 2 ore.
Ci devo provare pochi polli.
Vai. I didn't taste it before.
E quando sono grosso.
Professor, you have to taste this. This is your recipe. No.
Oh.
Non c'è male. Non è come la mia però, Questo vino è bello e fino, a salute e nina.
Professor.
Nostalgia, traserinto cuore state insieme a me. Nostalgia. Stasera canta il sole assieme a amici miei. Stasera chi sta meglio di me? Si scrive sta canzone e perché mi dice il cuore e voglio ridere e pazziare. Stasera sto che mi sapore. Nostalgia che mi piglia quando sto lontana da te. Nostalgia traserinto cuore state